Hey everyone, Alex here for BrightDog Academy. If you'd like me to personally answer any questions you may have about your dog, be sure to head over to brightdog.com where you can learn about my online training program, plus pick up a copy of the official BrightDog Academy ebook. At some point, you're going to have to take your dog to the vet. You probably already have. And if you're a new dog owner, there's kind of some, unwritten rules about going to the vet that we should be following. Rule number 1, always bring your dog to the vet on a leash with a harness or collar. I've been to the vet more times than I care to mention amongst all my animals, and it's quite amazing how many people will walk in with their dog completely off leash. And this is very unsafe. Think about this. When you're taking your dog to the vet, odds are the other people who are there with the dogs, with animals at the vet, are not feeling well, right? Dogs that are sick or maybe injured are already going to be very irritable, and if your dog comes in off leash, maybe your dog's not aggressive, but he goes over to a dog who's not feeling well, and that dog is extra irritable, decides to snap, and now a dog fight breaks out in the middle of the waiting room. That whole thing can be prevented if we just keep our dogs on a leash and collar. So if you're gonna go in, even if you have a small dog, don't carry him, put him on a leash and collar, and always bring that to the vet. Number 2, communication with your vet is very important. We want our dog's experience at the vet to be, as pleasurable as possible under the circumstances. If your dog has a behavioral problem, maybe your dog is afraid of men, maybe your dog is afraid of women, okay? That's something important that you need to communicate to the vet, to the receptionist, to the vet techs. Letting them know that your dog has a fear of something or a specific behavior problem is not something to be, embarrassed about or ashamed about. It's something that is going to help the vet do a better job of caring for your dog. With Max, I mentioned in another video, he has pica, where he will try to eat anything that he shouldn't, and his favorite thing is paper. Pieces of computer paper, paper towels, Kleenex. And every time that we've been to the vet, I've been to the vet with him, when I'm handing him off to the vet tech, every time I let him know, I go, just so you know, anything in your pockets, anything you guys have out, garbage cans, you are at risk of getting eaten, so please be extra careful. And they happily say, oh, okay, thanks for letting us know. Now that's just for my dog, but for your dog, okay? If there are certain behavior issues, don't be shy about letting your vet or the vet techs know. If your dog doesn't like his tail being touched, tell him. My own dog, Max, he will not tolerate his temperature being taken unless he's knocked out. Nothing's going up that butt, all right? And I tell him that. They pull out the thermometer, and I tell him that's not going to happen. So when you go to the vet, just be honest and let them know if your dog has any behavioral issues. It's going to keep everyone safer and let the vet be able to do a better job caring for your dog. So the next rule, it's similar to what I just talked about letting the vet know, if there's any behavioral issues, phobias, fears like that. But this one is a little bit more specific, right? Don't lie to your vet. They're not there to judge you. They're not there to make criticism. They know you're there because there's a problem. They're expecting there to be a problem. And if you don't tell them exactly what happened, even if it was an accident, it's fine, okay? They can't do the right job. They can't do their job. If your dog ate 10 pounds of chocolate because you left it out and it was your fault and you're feeling guilty, that's fine. It's okay. That's fine. But tell them. Let them know what happened. They're not going to say, we're not going to treat your dog because you let your dog get chocolate. They're there to help, okay? So you got to be honest about whatever the issue is that is going on with your dog. Next up, talk to your vet about your dog's treatment plan to make sure it's doable for you. If the first plan that your vet comes up with to treat whatever your dog's illness is doesn't work for you, maybe because, you have to give a medicine 3 times a day. The vet, let's say this, okay? The vet says to start off, we're going to do medicine 3 times a day, but you can only do it twice a day because of your work schedule. Tell your vet. They can adjust the dosages and maybe do a dosage for twice a day that fits your schedule. Don't be afraid to have back and forth because it's important that the vet gets an idea about what's actually possible for you, and then that way they can make the treatment plan as best they can around what you'll actually be able to follow through with. Because if you get a plan that you can't follow through with, your dog's never going to get better. Last up, ask questions. And I tell people the same thing, with training, behavior with me. Please, ask questions. There's no stupid questions, I promise. When you're dealing with a sick dog, your brain is already a little frazzled because you're worried about him, right? So sometimes, the vet will say something. It's happened to me. I remember when Max was, God, how old was he? 4 to 5 months old, when he ate a cloth towel. And we had to do surgery to pull it out. And I still remember that day. Standing across from the vet, and they were talking to me about how they're going to cut open the stomach, and then cut open the intestines, and then pull it out and stitch everything, and stitch this back together. And I was just, what? Like, that I couldn't even process the information because it was so overwhelming. I was so worried about Max. So I must have asked probably 4 or 5 times, can you say that again? Can you say that again? Can you say that again? Because it just wasn't clicking. So if that happens with you, again, it's fine. Nothing to be embarrassed about. Just ask, right? Make sure you're 100% clear. With the medications especially. I know they give instructions on, the bottles, right? You'll get a prescription. It'll say, apply ointment 2 times a day for the next 10 days, okay? Always read that instructions. And then what I like to do is I read it out loud back to the vet because there's been times where they've made mistakes. The medication's correct, but they just make a typo. They're humans, okay? They put 2 times a day instead of 3, or 3 times a day instead of 2. 2 and 3 is right next to each other on the keyboard, okay? Human error happens. Always double check the medication, read it back to the vet, and say, just to be sure, twice a day for the next 10 days, right? Right. Okay, good. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed those tips for going to the vet. If you want to keep these free videos coming, head over to BrightDog.com, where you can learn how to help support BrightDog Academy by joining the Patreon program.